Yeah, do what others aren't willing to do. That's where the gold dust is at. Go where others aren't willing to go. Um, I love to take pens. I'll take a huge uh, thing of pens and give it out at a restaurant.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle podcast. And today I've got Blain, Clement from Preferred Home Services. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me, Tim.
Absolutely. We're talking about greenfielding a new market as an HVAC and plumbing company, amongst other things. How did you grow so fast in your career? How do you promote from within? And you guys grew this new market so fast. And I think probably a lot of people could look at you as the blueprint for greenfielding a new market, but I'm sure it wasn't without its challenges. If you don't mind setting the stage a little bit for just like where you came from and kind of how you ended up in this position, obviously one that probably requires a lot of fortitude growing this new market.
Yeah, so I'm Blain Clement from Greenville, South Carolina, Preferred Home Services. I'm the operations manager here now. So yeah, we greenfielded this branch. We started in June of 2021. We had a deal to buy a local company in town, fell apart at the closing table. So the owners got together and they decided they were going to invest that money in growing a new branch, greenfielding here in Greenville, kind of trying their foot in the upstate. And I'm a plumber by trade. I'm a licensed plumber, been in the plumbing industry for 20 years now. And I had been kind of gearing up for a while to kind of start my own business. And then after COVID, it was just really tricky getting parts and just didn't feel right. Felt like I needed to learn more about business. So when Preferred came to town, sat down and they offered me a position to come on and come on as a plumbing. And I was still in a truck at that point. So come on as a technician and grow the plumbing department. And kind of the deal was get to 5 trucks and, we'll let you take over the plumbing department and just go from there. So like I said, we started in June of 2021. And I actually had us to 5 trucks by October. And we started with 2 plumbing trucks, 2 HVAC service trucks, and 2 HVAC install trucks. And just kind of took off from there, man. I mean, we're currently sitting at 49 trucks, I believe. We have a septic division. We're now in electrical, started electrical 6 months ago. So we've grown very rapidly. We've went from basically, 0 to 12.6 million in less than 5 years.
All while being a dad of 4 kids, huh?
Yeah, 4 kids. My son, oldest son, he works for BMW. He's a ESA over there. Got 2 kids in college. One's going to be a nurse, and then I have our youngest is 16, and she's a junior this year. So 3 girls and 3 beautiful girls, and 1 boy that I'm very proud of. And been married now for 16 years with my wife, 19 years. So.
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. AeroSeal.com.
I will say I've got 2 toddlers right now, or a baby and a toddler, and it is quite distracting to my career. Is there a point at which it becomes a little less distracting?
Man, they get fun, I mean, they're awesome. And I say that like they're
Give me a
always
timeline for that, by the way. I'm
I'm
struggling.
telling you, man, like, they go through their stages, but when they get, 12, 13, like
Yeah,
they start getting fun. You can take them and do stuff with them, but
yeah, that's cool.
what do you have, boys or girls?
I have a boy as a baby. He's like 4, or no, he's almost 6 months. Man, it goes fast. He's getting to be a chunk. And then my daughter is 3.5.
Yeah, so they'll be on different kind of wavelengths too. We always joke, we say we raise triplets because my son is 13 months older than the girls, and they're kind of all there together. And girls mature faster than boys is what they say. Who knows? But we feel like we've raised triplets. But yeah, they're fun, man. I mean, you can look forward to get through all the terrible years, the teething, all that stuff, and then you start to have some fun.
Yeah, it's definitely like, yeah, running business and stuff like that. Just with life going on, and I think it's a real thing. Most people are having to deal with to some degree, whether it's this or that. There's always something going on. It's we're full humans too, not just workhorses. Even though I work hard, it's I don't want to think about my family as a distraction from work, but it is. They both distract from each other in a way.
Well, it should be, right. Like you should go home and be able to you're a business owner, so
Yeah.
it's impossible for us to leave work at home completely. But
Yeah.
that's your place to go home and see those kids and just relax, just let it all, deep breath, let it out, and just spend time with them.
What would you say was like the toughest, most stressful part of greenfielding this new location?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would just say trust in the process, right? Like, I came from a really busy plumbing company to you starting this plumbing company and convincing people that I looked at their resume and or even the people that I recruited. There were a couple people on my team that I recruited that I knew from the trades, but it was stressful getting those people, talking them into coming with you. And then there were days where we didn't have calls, right? Like, I mean, we're brand new. And it's like, so that was very stressful, trusting the process, making sure to believe from the people that have done it before, the owners of the company that, Dave Geiger is one of the owners of our company, and he's done this many, many times over. But trusting the process, they said so many times, Blain, just keep doing what you're doing, building the guys, training them up. The calls are coming. They're coming. So it was tough waiting on that, right? Because I'm impatient. I come to work ready to work. I don't have a lot of patience. I just want to get the job done and go. But the good thing about that, Tim, and I'll tell you, is it taught my team in the early days to love the one they're with, right? Take your time. The scarcity of not knowing where you're going to get another call that day, we had great results. I mean, great, really, really high average tickets, really high closing rates. And it was just because the guys settled in and talked to the people, did good inspections, gave great options, like, earned the trust of those customers, which is the most important thing, right? Like, if they don't trust you, then what are we doing? They've got to be able to trust you. And the way you build that trust is through the relationships and really settling in and making sure that you're there to take care of the people and they know that.
That's big. I mean, there's some data recently that I looked at that was from Rilla about the amount of time spent in the house. And it was kind of comedically long, where it was associated with higher tickets. Some of that is probably like the install or the work, right? The work, not just the sale. But it kind of, and some people were like really annoyed by the fact that data existed, because they're like, what are you talking about, 6 hours in the home? And it's like, well, to a certain degree, I think that people could slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? And like, I think the ability to be with the one you're with. I don't know. What would you say for you, if you had a real number? You'd be like, I would be very comfortable with this amount of time per call that my guys stayed there.
I mean, I'm looking for at least an hour,
Yeah.
at least an hour every call. I mean, you can't tell me you've done a whole house inspection and, really, really took the time to explain what you're seeing with the customers, unless you're there at least an hour. I think an hour is a good, that's if you don't close the call. If you do close the call, you should be there at least 2 or 3 hours in most circumstances.
Okay. I appreciate that answer. Talk to me about your guys' strategy of promoting from within. Why is that so important to you, where there's kind of this, hey, I'm just trying to get the best guy or gal in here, and I'm down to go spend some money to recruit and put somebody in a leadership position that may be new to the team. A lot of people do that. So what's been your strategy for maintaining and promoting that way?
think I wasn't around when the company first started. So the company's 11 years old, be 12 years old, St. Patrick's Day. Started out of the Charleston market, but it was just the owners, Chris and Kyle and Dave kind of being the godfather and coaching them through it. But it really probably started from necessity. So they started with their core group and they realized they had talent. So, one of their installers ended up being the install manager. One of the CSRs ended up being, a DSR manager. It just kind of kept growing. So I would say that it started more out of necessity, and they had a lot of great success with it early on, to the point where there's still people with this company that was here when it opened. And that's, like you said, I think it's really important to not always look outside, because it's also a great recruiting tool too. When I sit people down, and we go in there in the boardroom, we're doing an interview and I'm telling them my story, it's 100% true, right? And then people like me, like I'm trying to get the guys, I'm trying to recruit the people that aren't looking for jobs, if that makes sense to you. Like I want the A players around me. I want the people that want opportunity, that want to grow. And by doing that, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to slow down that part for a second. People that aren't looking for jobs because they're happy where they're at because they're killing it. It's weird when people, like, maybe when you're early, you might be like, hey, I might be recruiting. I'm looking for people that are kind of open, like a loose tooth, like I could pull them out of their current job. But when you really want people that are killing it, they're not usually always dissatisfied with their current thing.
Right.
So I just wanted to clarify that. I know that most people, that was probably clear off the top, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's, that I want those people. Those are the people, but you have to be attractive to them, right? And being able to offer them career advancement that they would not get at other places is a very big tool to have in your toolbox.
How do you position that to the? Tell me the truth. What is the real career advancement that you're offering when you're talking to somebody about working there?
Just leadership positions. We have plans to open in other markets. So I mean, we use the Greenfield of Greenville as an example to talk to people when we're hiring them. We do want to grow into more markets, and these other seats and other opportunities. Even a seat like mine as an operator could be available to you. Heck, my seat could be available to you one day. We like to promote from within. We're a family-owned and operated business, and that's what we do.
I like that. It's funny because I'm probably going to give up my CEO position in the next year here, and I'm just like, it's the best person for the slot. You know what I mean? And we believe in meritocracy, meaning if you are better, it doesn't matter how long you've been here. If you are clearly better and consistent, then you should get that job. And yes, we are creative about letting people pass other people up sometimes in the hierarchy, and but you can do it in a tasteful way. And then I think it's just noting that literally I feel like somebody is going to be better than me at CEO, so I'm passing it off. And I'm not guaranteed that role. But I think meritocracy is important.
That's what we do too. Anytime the position comes open in this company, we open it up to everybody. So it's, it goes out on Teams. Everybody's able to put their application in. I mean, we've had, when I was hiring a new plumbing manager a little over a year ago, I had people from the Charleston warehouse, applying for the position. Just, they wanted growth. They wanted to try their hand at it. So it's important to give everyone a fair shot, right? To at least acknowledge and give them a fair shot at a good interview and see what comes of it. You never know who your diamond in the rough is. You never know who your next A player is. Some people just need, they need to do something different to show their ability.
That's good. And it's this is a random offshoot, but there's people in my company that I'm not personally that close with, or honestly might even not always even be a fan of, but they can still advance in my company because I'm not the one always making every decision. I think that there's something to having more of a a legislature of advancement versus just the one guy. And you know, there's so many companies where there's one guy who's kind of a tyrant, or not even a tyrant, but I have a preference. But you know what? My preference isn't going to be holding anyone back just because we don't like jive. Like, I don't want to go to sit in an airport with you for 3 hours. There's an ability for people to advance without being personally chummy with me, basically.
Yeah, I mean, every role's got its right person, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a yellow. I bring the energy. I bring the, you know, I'm all about the feelings and making people feel good about themselves, and that's kind of the way I lead. And there's other people in our leadership group that aren't the same. You know, they're more blues or more reds, and you know, you get into the different personality types. But yeah, I mean, every role's got its right person for that seat.
Talk to me about how, and this goes into you being the right guy for that seat. You not being a technical HVAC guy. I'm sure that everyone saw you. People got to give you shit, right? Like, because you're not that guy. I want to hear about that. Talk to me about leading people when you're not an expert at what they do.
That's a great question. You know, I had a whole lot of imposter syndrome for a while, right? Like, because I am a tradesman, right? I'm a fix-it guy. Like, I am a plumber. So yeah, man, I carried a lot of, I carried a lot on me for that for a long time. The answer to the question is you hire the right people around you. I don't know how to do it, but I know this guy does, right? And I've handpicked him for this position. I can teach him to lead. I can coach him to lead people. I can coach him to look at the numbers properly and to strategize how you get to things, you know, the numbers that you want. But could I teach you how to go, you know, change a TXV? No, I had to, you know, I've had to learn more. It's taken me a while. And really a lot of it came with having to make position changes in my org chart, right? And so that's the thing about an operator. If I want to go, if my service manager or my install manager for HVAC's not hacking it and I have to let them go, guess who has to do that job, right? So I have to rely on the people that we've hired and make sure that they bring me the data and I make some decisions.
It's a little bit more overhead and a little bit more process that needs to go into when you couldn't do the job, right? Like, because I got to get somebody else out. Back in the day, like, I bet when you're just managing plumbers and stuff like that, it's like, you know, you could get it done.
Yeah, I could jump right in a truck. Like, we were talking about freezes, you know, earlier, and I mean, there was one year we had so many on the board. I jumped in a truck and went out and closed 100% that week. By the way, I like to rub that in these guys' face all the time. But
that is pretty cool. I like.
But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. To answer your question, it's tough. It's still tough. You know, I've been in this seat for going on 3 years, and I've still, you know, I try to educate myself. You know, I watch a lot of videos on stuff. I've even had to run the warehouse, you know, at one point. So, you know, I had to learn about equipment. I had to learn about, you know, what goes with what, how we do things. But it's not easy, and you just can't give up. You got to keep trying, and you got to have the respect of your team on a different level, right? Because they're not going to respect me for my HVAC knowledge, but they will respect me how I treat them. They will respect me how I treat our customers, how I show up every day ready to go to battle. And I'm, you know, I like to think I continue to make the right moves in the organization to get us better.
So let's get back to the greenfielding thing. Talk to me about the marketing moves that you guys made. And I know that you guys had a pretty significant investment out the gate. So if you don't mind, after that, I'm going to ask you about how to do this in a more scrappy way if you had to. But I would love to hear, just tell me the realness. Like, what did you guys do? And give me the scale if you're willing. Any real numbers would be sick, because I'm like I bet you there's somebody watching this right now that's legitimately thinking about how to do this and what would be the investment.
Yeah, I mean, so we have a really, really good in-house marketing team, you know, that was already in place in Charleston. And when the decision was made to not do the purchase and do it at the Greenfield, they immediately started their marketing strategy. And they were already putting up billboards. Hey, we're coming, right? Getting the town before 3 weeks, 4 weeks before we started running calls. Like, there were already billboards up, you know, holding signs. We're coming. We're on the way. Like, just kind of getting that. We're already doing TV ads, already doing, just getting it teed up that, hey, we're going to be here. The number, a lot. I mean, it was a lot of money. It was, not $1 million, but north of 500. I mean, it was, it's a lot of money that we spent. But we had to come to town like that because there's some big players here. We came fully stocked, fully wrapped trucks. We only had 6 trucks, but you would have thought by the design and the way the brilliance of the marketing department that we were, a 50 truck outfit. I mean, that's how we stepped in and kicked the doors off this town. And I mean, you just have to be willing to do that and just trust the process, right? Like don't get freaked out if the phone's not just ringing off the hook right off the bat. And you got to have the right people in place. I don't know. We had a really good HVAC service manager. He came up from Charleston. We had a great operations manager. He came up from Charleston. Operations manager was a plumber with this company at one point, was their first plumbing manager. So more examples of growth from within. And then you had me that had a huge knowledge base on the plumbing in this town and the people out there doing it. That's a big key factor that you can't overlook in this, because I do believe that you could spend what we spent and still not be successful if you didn't have the right people. That
so
that's
besides
what you do,
the
man.
marketing budget and the infrastructure that you built out, what did you? I mean, there were stakes to this, right? It probably felt like we're investing all this. If this doesn't pan out, man, we just overexerted ourselves in a new area. What gave you confidence that it was going to work?
Yeah, I'm not naive. I'm sure there were conversations like that behind closed doors. I didn't ever hear them. The leadership, the owners, they always just push down positivity. Belief is transferable, right? So I mean, it's important to believe people through it sometimes. But I'm sure, there was conversations like that. But we were just, I just can't say it. We were successful, man. We had the support behind us. We had the support to continue to hire even when we probably didn't have the calls, right? We weren't ready for that capacity yet, but they knew because of what they had done in the past that with that amount of spend, the calls are going to come. The market's saturated. It's math, right? It's up to you at that point. And I remember huddling our group up before, that first couple months and just like letting the people know, this is our opportunity to make a name for ourselves in this town. That can go one of two ways, right? It can be great or it can be bad too. So, we really focused on Google reviews. I mean, we're over 2,000 in this branch. We crossed 2,000
so cool
this month. I mean, as a company, I think we're over 10 now, maybe 11 between the two markets. But less than 5 years, over 2,000 reviews. I've got 2,500 PPP. We call it our preferred partner plan, but membership club members. We rely on, when we were starting, you had to rely on cross, interdepartmental sales too. If you've got plumbers out at a fresh call, you got to make sure that we lock that customer in. We got to sell them a PPP. We got to offer them a whole house tune up or, whatever. We got to lock those people in. So that's how you do it. You win them one at a time, but you convert clients, you build those relationships.
From your point of view, like if you didn't quite have the budget, what would be a few moves that you'd make that would mimic the moves? Like, because essentially brand awareness, you went hard on billboards, radio, TV, you said, right?
Yep.
And
TV, radio, everything.
Okay, all of it. What would be some of the things you'd do to mimic that if you had to go lower budget?
My old plumbing manager, he started his own business and, same. I mean, he didn't do it till he was ready to wrap his trucks, till he was ready to have some money to throw on marketing. You want to look the part, right? You look good, you play good type thing. But, you just got to decide on what your investment is. But it's definitely doable at 2 trucks, at 3 trucks. You got to look the part. You got to be ready to spend the money.
I like that as a way to start, right? Wrapping trucks, make them look nice, nice uniforms. That's a nice place to start. My strategy with my new business is local business. It's a roofing company, but related to this topic is around like I'm doing my mini billboard strategy, which is me yard signing the shit out of things. Now, does the city call and the PD call and the state call and the yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
don't
have
know who
had.
did that. What you talking about?
Yeah, I will tell you, it is not quite gonna be squeaky clean, but I think I come from like a little bit of a background of you got to be scrappy, and I know that there's a certain point where scrappy is like could be a danger, but I think if you don't have as much budget, being scrappy. The other thing I'm doing, I'm just randomly throwing tips in here, but I'm like. I made some nice prints, like almost like little mini billboard like print style things, and I'm putting them like so. Whenever we go into a restaurant, I'm taking a picture of our food and putting that right next to it, and I'm like doing 5-star reviews, and so then basically it's local businesses, and then also you can take a picture of your van or your truck in front of a restaurant or a
Yeah.
store and then give it a 5-star review. And like basically the way it stands with reviews on Google is the ones with photos get featured. So the more you put out there like this, once again, a little scrappy, and I'm sure somebody will be annoyed by it. But for the most part, business owners would prefer to get a 5-star review. So just my scrappy little brand awareness move. I cannot wait until that business can do billboards and radio and commercials. In the meantime, I just got to leverage my hardcore SEO strategies because we also like published like 70 landing pages and blog posts for local terms just like out the gate because that's what I know to do, right? Like those, it's like leverage everything you know to do, make your truck wraps look good, make your yard signs look good, make your uniforms look good, and then be scrappy if you don't have as much budget. But either way, get the brand out there in every way you know how.
Yeah, do what others aren't willing to do. That's where the gold dust is at. Go where others aren't willing to go.
Yeah,
I love to take pens. I'll take a huge thing of pens and give it out at a restaurant. And
I like that.
you'll go around because I mean servers are always needing pens, right? And I mean
Yeah.
that's a huge deal, and they'll love to see you coming in. Like, hey, where's my pens? And
Oh, I love that one. That's good. I'm
yeah,
gonna
that's
take
that's
that.
that's a little Jedi move right there.
Boom! I love Jedi moves because I think like a lot of the people that are listening to this might feel like they might have an excuse, like if they don't have that budget to not do stuff. And I think Jedi moves like that can give them something to do right now, whether
Right,
they have a big budget or small budget. That being said,
right.
I'm guessing, like, tell me a little bit, like, the messaging when you went hard on the billboard and TV and stuff. Was it consistent? Was there like some taglines? What was
I mean
the move there? Like
it was
message wise.
it was we're coming, and then when we kicked the doors out, it was then we're here, and then
Yeah,
it was our thing is what can we do to make you smile, right? So
yeah,
that's what we're looking for. Our CSRs are answering the phones that way. I mean, it's a big thing to us. Our core values are honesty, dedication, and professionalism. We hire and fire by them.
yeah.
They mean a lot to us. And yeah, I mean, we just, hope that answers your question.
No, it totally does. Yeah, I think like one thing people can do to make their messaging go farther is just like make sure the stuff is consistent with each other because you're trying to get them to remember a couple things. I think also like the brand can't be the only thing. You know what I mean? I see people's billboards and you see like really smart people, like let's say like Dan Antonelli, like his billboards. It's logo centric because it's a really
Mhm.
nice logo, but then there is a message, right? There's
Right.
a clear message. It's usually short, maybe it's 4 words or 7 words max, but they're trying to get you to remember something or leave a curiosity loop or get like a little pun, something to
Yeah.
like stick. It has to be sticky though, and then you got to repeat it over and over and over again. So like I think that some people get it twisted. They're like, well, I'm just going to put my logo up there and then but then you're just saying, you should care about us.
Right. Or we're
You
here.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, even though we're here is kind of fun. It's like there's something there.
Well,
There's something
but I'm
else.
talking about like not the actual words we're
Yeah,
here. I'm
yeah,
with your example, it's just here.
yeah,
Here's our logo. Call us if you
yeah,
need us. But I mean, we put specials. I mean, as soon
yeah.
as we
Oh,
started
yeah,
rolling out, whatever specials, uh, tune-up specials we were running for HVAC, drain specials we were running for drains,
yeah.
anything that we
Nice.
wanted to get them thinking about.
I love that. Okay, so then they know what the next step is. Like you're giving them clarity around the next step versus like just hi, here you go. And it depends on your level of scrappiness and necessity for everything to pan out quick. Because I was just talking to a friend of mine who's saying he did billboards, he's not seeing the return. I'm like, well, you are planting seeds. We're planting. It's just if you don't have time right now for seeds to grow, go more direct response with the offer, go more direct, maybe Facebook ads, maybe like Google ads. But I think at a certain point, you do want to be investing for the long term in the brand. It's just you had a runway of money there and not everyone feels that, right? Like, so I think
Right.
people need to like recognize what level of like, how quick does this need to pay off? I believe his billboards are going to pay off. I just think that that's like a 6 months, year thing compared to like other, and it depends on what you have on the billboard,
And it
obviously.
goes hand in hand, right, with your Google reviews, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing they're going to do is go to a Google or, you got AI in the game now.
Yeah.
Where that's going to take. I mean, but I mean, it's you got to have both. You can't have no presence for the reviews because then when people, what was that company? I know they're green. They had the thumb. God, I can't remember what they were. And then they go to Google plumbing companies in the upstate, right? And then damn, okay, then now they're seeing that billboard that they remembered they saw.
Yeah.
But you have to be on that page, right? You have to get positive interactions with the customers.
Yep. Exactly. And it all goes together. I think it's a little bit hard for everyone to wrap their head around, but once you get it, it's like it's omnipresence. We need 5 ways pointing at you so that they're on the Facebook, they see the ad, they see the video, then they go to the thing, and they got the reviews. And oh, by the way, I need to like give a little bit of tips on the AI stuff because you mentioned it. It's going there, but it's also now you can affect it. It's not that hard. I want to remind people so I just did this today. So I'm going to give you an example. So for this new roofing company, I just Googled the city plus the service I want to show up for. Shoreview Roofing. I look at the list. It was interesting because there was a Reddit thread. And the Reddit thread, I just said, here are 3 companies. You know what I mean? I'm like, here are 3 companies. This one's known for this. This one's known for this. This one's known for this. I happen to include my company. But Reddit and Quora and Wikipedia, but that's a little harder to affect, are 3 of the most like referenced things on ChatGPT. So that's one. Contribute. I don't really like Reddit, by the way. I'm not like a guy who sits on Reddit, but I do have a seasoned account for this type of stuff that I'm going to touch those conversations and I'm going to make them non-promotional, but I am going to mention my company and say it does this well. And then you don't make it super obvious and you don't need a link off to your company either. And then the other thing is, so that's Reddit and Quora. I've done that for a number of them. And then also, the other thing is if you join like your local chamber of commerce or your any other like directories for HVAC plumbing that back in the day you could just like, I'm going to do the little paragraph about us and we're good.
Yep.
But now, those things do show up high in the list and they get referenced by AI because it feels like a third-party validation. So what I would recommend is if you're newer or even if you want to go back and update your profiles is like make it a little bit more of a comprehensive description. We're allowed to edit
Right.
our own Chamber of Commerce listing,
Right.
but you can make 5 paragraphs and make it feel comprehensive in like a third-party endorsement. Like
Yeah.
write this. You could ask AI, please write this like a third party endorsement of my company and talk about our high customer service in this. And essentially like AI is scanning the internet and it's like, oh, the local chambers of commerce thinks this is a good company. So there's an ability to kind of be more persuasive on our directories. I'm just saying what I would do, and I think people can recognize there's a lot of opportunity to affect the AI answers right now.
Yeah, I mean, we have, our mission statement. We have kind of a what to expect when calling us, what to expect when calling in for a service call, and it lists kind of our process, what we do. We're going to arrive at your house, right? We're gonna show up in a company truck. We're gonna park on the road. We're gonna, do a full inspection. We're gonna protect your home and floors. Like, you're setting that expectation. Now you have to make sure that you're holding your team accountable, right, to what you're putting out there that you're doing, which is the next most important thing, is the right people. But yeah, we like to really let people know who we are, what we're there to do, and how we're going to do it.
I dig it. And first you got to say what it is. And then, I think it's weird, but marketing almost starts at the core value level.
It is. I mean,
because if you have clear core values, you have clear values that you're operating off of, then that can be something that you promote. I mean, but knowing that there's some accountability there.
That's right. Yep.
Where could people go to check you out, and what would you like them to do after they listen to this podcast if they want to see you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we go preferred.com. You can find us in the Charleston market. You can find us in the upstate market. We're here to take care of you. Plumbing, heating, and air, electric. We do septic up here in the upstate also. That's been something that we don't do in Charleston, that we started up here a couple years ago. It's been really big. A lot of septic tanks that are in this area. Just come find us. I mean, we love to take care of people, and we care a lot about this community.
I love to hear it. Thank you so much for being on. Podcast is put on by Hook Agency, hookagency.com. And I just end the podcast here by reading a review, so I'm going to do that now. Excuse me. Here's a recent one that we did. This is by Carly Hone. I simply could not be happier. We are an old school company that has never done anything with SEO or really made much with a website. Other than having one exist. I was extremely skeptical at first, and I can genuinely say that I could not be happier. The work they did for me was professional, timely, and true to my organization. They listened to all my feedback and turned our website into something I'm so proud of. It is true to us and high functioning. Our rankings, organic leads, Google performance is taking off like never before. Hook is a true partner for us, and I cannot wait to see how much growth and success we have together. I highly recommend them to any contractor.
A great review. Well done, Tim.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
I can't commend Hook Agency enough on just the experience. We're talking about plumbing experience, but the experience we've had overall working with your team members on this project, they really draw out ideas that otherwise I didn't even think of, which is incredible. So thank you guys for being a valued partner of the Family Plumber. I really appreciate that.